Hey Hero fans, this is Todd. So it's time for class 2. Sorry for the late start. Hopefully you guys are ready to customize some figures today. First of all, quick sound check. Can you guys hear me okay? Actually, just turn your sound up for a second because I'm not sure how many people are on or not on. Also making you watch a commercial first? Is there a skip button? Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, great. You can turn your volume down. Hey, Dean. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Before I do, let's talk a little bit about heat and pop. So there are many ways in order to... oh, hey, Bo, you made it. Great. There are many ways to heat up an action figure to do the heat and pop method. One way that you know that I like is the hot water. And I used my hot water thing that I showed you guys last week, already boiled some hot water and put it in my cup right here. And now I have it sitting here just chilling, or not chilling, warming up, even though it's already been boiling before that, just to stay warm. Now another way is the heat gun, which is a great way to heat up figures. Now I have a heat gun that actually has 2 different modes. And we'll be using this later on today for doing heat shrink tubing. What? What are you saying? Remember, there is a delay too. Oh, Dean says sorry about last time. Oh, you're not seeing the comments, is what you're saying.
Yes.
Oh, I thought you meant you weren't seeing. There you go. Okay, sorry about that. Technical difficulties. And the third way to do heat and pop is by getting a actual hair dryer. And we have a cool ninja style hair dryer where it unfolds and does all kinds of cool stuff. It's actually my wife's. I just asked her to run and grab it. The hair dryer works great as well, and I've seen people use this. But again, for me, it just takes too much interaction to hang on to it the whole time and run around with the figures and trying to do each joint individually. I actually prefer the warm water, and I also suggest if you guys do use the water not to get it too hot, otherwise it does ruin the figures. Now our goal today is to make these 2 custom figures right here. I'm a fan of the Horde Troopers, so we're going to make this figure right here, which is a Horde Trooper leader. And the reason why I call him the Horde Trooper leader is because he has his sidearms on here, and he has the white boots. And then, of course, we're going to also make Disguise, either Prince Adam or He-Man, whichever you prefer to make. All right. Were there any questions that came in?
Somebody made a comment. I did a head swap of a hard head Skeletor for a soft head Skeletor.
Nice. I'm guessing it's an 80s figure. Now I also have this right here that I use in order to check the temperature of things. It's kind of a fun way to see how hot we actually got the plastic for fun. And as a preventative maintenance, we're also going to maybe tighten the legs on some of these before we do the swap. You can see on these ones I've already done the leg tightening, and I'll show you guys how to do that as well. All right. So let's go ahead and get started. Before we jump into the actual figures, though, let's kind of see how this process works, so we can kind of get it down a little bit.
Somebody said I thought boiling water, then clamp and freeze.
If you want to change the shape of something, that's a good way to do it. So if you want to make something a different shape, then yes, you want to use boiling water and then freeze right away. If you're not changing the shape of something, then just to swap parts, then you just use the boiling water. So I first want to show you guys one of my first customs I ever made in Classics, and it's this figure right here. For those that follow me, you probably already seen me show this. So my customizing of this figure was to paint the gloves white and then swap out the boots, just the feet part, from Stratos' feet. So that was my customizing on this, my very first Classics custom I ever made, which was a long time ago. And there he is. Thanks, Dean. But we're going to start with fixing this Batman. So this Batman right here, he has the wrong boots on. And the reason he has the wrong boots on, which is kind of fun boots, they're kind of like swashbuckling type boots that he has on. But I stole his boots to make my custom Darth Vader, as you guys saw in that video. And so when I get my parts, I don't just take apart of the figures all the time. I have people online on Facebook and stuff that are also customizers. And so a lot of times I will buy just parts from them because they've customized figures as well. And somebody had some Batman boots up, and I thought, great, I can go ahead and finally fix my Batman back to normal since Darth Vader stole his boots. So let's go ahead and get Batman ready to swap his boots out. So I'm going to go ahead and toss Batman into the water. There we go, Batman. You can go ahead and take a bath. And the temperature there says it's 204 degrees, but it's not really 204 degrees. That's just the temperature of the burner on the bottom, not the temperature of the water. So let's go ahead and take a quick shot of the water and see what the temperature actually is inside where the things are. And we're getting about pretty close to 150. And 150 is about the range you want to shoot at for heating your plastic. So you guys know boiling is about, what, 212? And that's way too hot for your plastic. So we'll leave it there for about a minute. Meanwhile, let's go ahead and toss the boots in there too and get that ready. Do you want to grab my plastic spoon for the bathroom? The slider one. All right. Sorry, I missed.
Is classics, isn't it?
Oh, for Batman, yes, it is. So he's the classics body. Now another cool heat and pop that I've done in the past, while we're waiting for those to heat up, is I've taken Captain Glenn. And I wanted to make a swashbuckling type Captain Glenn, one that was out ready for battle. And so here is my swashbuckling one that I made. I wanted to give her bare arms. And actually saw someone online do this, and I really liked it a lot, so I copied it. And basically, what I did was actually swapped out the whole entire torso piece, and the legs separate right underneath here. That's the part I actually broke apart. And then I used the top half, I think it was She-Ra, I'm not positive. And then I painted her arm cuffs green, and there you go. So that was a really easy heat and pop. Just swapped out the mid part of the torso after warming it up. And it's a really cool custom, because now you have Captain Glenn, He-Man's mom, ready for battle. Way cooler than the full entire green spacesuit. And another fun heat and pop is to turn Ninjor to a full black suited human. Thanks, Dean. And so with him, an easy way to do it is to take and just first switch out to some black boots instead of his red ones that are human boots. And these black boots right here happen to be from one of my favorite figures to steal parts from is Molar. And Molar is great for stealing parts because he has his skin matches a lot of the figures, and he has solid black boots. I wish his shorts were black too, but they're just solid blue. So then you need to get some solid black shorts, which they are a lot harder to find. There we go. To give him that more stealthy look. And last, you then want to swap out his arms from the bicep down, and you're going to get some black hands and arms. And usually the arms you get from the faceless one, and the hands you get from Horde. That way he doesn't have his hand opened up unless you want his hand open like he's holding something or ninja fighting with his hand up. So that is the way you turn your ninja into a solid dressed black ninja human ninjor. All right.
So,
another thing you can do is turn him into a Horde version by using these black boots, which is kind of fun because they still have the red. Oops, I got two of the same one. That's not going to work. There we go. And this way then he has more of a Horde type image to him, and so you swap these ones out instead of the black ones to give him and make him part of the Horde. And then he has the Horde symbols on here. You can leave everything else the way it is and just turn him into a Horde version Ninjor. So that's another option too you can do. Let's go ahead and pull these apart, and let's see if they're ready.
hello.
So let's go ahead and yank his boots off. Now, just for fun, let's just see how warm I actually got his parts so you guys can get an idea. So the parts are only around 116. They're really not that hot, even though the water's like 150. So let's go ahead and pull those swashbuckling boots off. And I'll set them aside to make some other customs some other day. And let's get the Batman boots out of the water. Now, it's not really that hot. I could reach in and grab them, but it's a little warmer than I'd like to grab. So I'm just going to use this slotted spoon to pull them out of there. And look on the bottom to see which one goes on which foot. And let's see here. This one goes on this foot. So this one must go on the other foot. And now my Batman is back to normal and ready to crime fight. Yep, I'm not sure. She does already have a figure made. I haven't shown it yet. But someday maybe I'll show you guys a figure of my wife that I made. All right, let's go ahead and jump into our customers that we're here for. So let's go ahead and open up General Sunder and Horde Trooper, and let's get going on this. And hopefully you guys have already downloaded the sheet for today's lesson. So if you haven't downloaded it, it's in the description for the link for the download. And also in the description, I got some links to buy yourself your own cup heater and some other things like that as well. So check that out. All right, let's go ahead and open up Horde Trooper 2.
I don't know. I can't even get to it.
That's funny. So let's go ahead and open up General Sunder first. Just go and go. So General Sunder was kind of a fun released figure, and I was hoping a little bit more out of him than what we got. They kind of used some same old parts we've already had to create him, and they added some really cool new heads, which is why everyone wanted him, was for these other extra heads that do some great customs. So we have the Marine head, we got the Monster head, and we got some other kind of original Trooper from the past head. So that's kind of a fun homage back to some of the other Troopers that we've seen in the different cartoons and different things. Whenever you have a cape, always cut the plastic up on the back. That way you don't get the cape stuck in there. Now, whenever you make a custom, again, don't ever toss your parts away, the ones you don't use. You can always use them to make other customs. So you don't want to just toss your parts away because there are lots of other uses.
How much money did that cost?
Well, I actually bought this one a long time ago, and I had it just sitting on my shelf, just waiting for this purpose. Mostly I wanted it for the heads more than the figure. But since we had him anyway, we're going to go ahead and make a Trooper Leader. And I may even offer the Trooper Leader on eBay next week for somebody to get. So one of you guys might actually end up owning this figure in a couple weeks. How fun will that be? All right, so now let's go ahead and open up our Horde Trooper.
As much as I enjoy mixing and matching to purchase them in Canadian currency, it's expensive.
Yeah, I imagine so. That can get kind of spendy. Now this is kind of the fun one because this one is actually a single Horde Trooper, which they didn't release for a long time. We kept having double packs of damaged, where one was damaged, one wasn't. And so if you wanted a clean Horde Trooper army, you had to have a lot of damaged ones too. You know what? I'm just going to leave his weapon in there for later. Alright, so now we got our two guys, and now it's time to separate them out and start customizing these. So first thing we have to do is we have to get their legs off in order to take off their lower loincloth. So let's go ahead and get them in the hot water and start to get them warmed up so we can customize these. Now this one is kind of cool, so we do have a skin part up here, So that's why we're going to use him to make the He-Man piece. And let's just toss him in here. You can see him warming up in there. And just so I don't cause any extra damage, let's go ahead and pull apart our Trooper 2. I guess I can leave his head on. And toss him in the hot water as well. Actually, let me bend these knees to get him in there better. Because the part we're trying to heat up is the upper thigh right here. And I just realized these cups are shorter than my other cups. Now, it would have been cool if these pulled apart in the center. It would have made life a lot easier. Because I just pull them apart, yank off the loincloth, and be done. But unfortunately, they're not that easy. I guess I could show you guys the other method of heating up a figure in order to remove it. So let's go ahead and use the heat gun to get this guy while that guy's sitting in the water. Now, when you use the heat gun, you want to make sure that you can still get your hand in there. If it's too hot for your hand, it's too hot for the plastic. Keep the figure moving the whole time. You don't want it to stop moving, otherwise you'll end up melting the figure. And just work where the joint is. About an inch below the joint as well. All we're trying to do is soften that plastic so we can pull the legs off.
Brown Baseball said, I like to use colored plastic sheets as power fields. A little bit of blue tack and attach them to the power swords. When the light hits them, the power of the universe becomes the weapon.
That's really cool. Who said that?
Admiral Baseball.
Oh, Dean? Great. That's a really cool idea, Dean. Alright, let's see if it's warm enough yet. It's a little harder with the heat gun because you're just kind of guessing. Yeah, it's not even close. But it is warm, so hopefully it'll be pretty hot, pretty quick to mix it out here in this hot water. Let's see how he's doing. Oh. Can you get some water for me? You have to fill it up with the glass cup on the counter. I need about 3 cups of glass in there. My wife's going to grab some more hot water. I realize I need a cup that's taller to make this work, which kind of stinks because I wasn't anticipating these to be too tall. I guess I could pull them apart at the knees. See if that helps. Nope. See, and this is why when you do live feeds sometimes, it doesn't always work the way you think it's going to. Yep, not even close. I don't want to break them. All right, let's just give it a few more minutes. Sorry, I can't see your comments right now. I saw some come in, but my wife is out making more hot water for me. And so I was unable to see your comments. Should have Jeopardy music. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. They are getting a lot warmer. Still, it's a long ways off. So, good news is I do have an Evelyn now for the new figures, and I'll be doing an unboxing of her probably tomorrow. So, if you guys are up for that, seeing the unboxing of the new Origins Evelyn, that should be fun. Once the hard boil, can you bring me you okay carrying too? Yes, please. All right. Sorry about that. So let's see some of the comments we have here. Bro, try what I said with a clear plastic. Like the folders, cut them up, blue tack, and apply your swords. That does sound cool, Adam. All right. Let's just see if this has gotten warm enough. That's a great idea. Gluing it to Sunder's armor like that. Well, it is getting a little softer, but still not soft enough. So that's really cool sounding. You want to show me a small video of it or pictures of it? Again, find me on Facebook. All right, let's see. It's much easier with time lapse. I can just pause the video. You guys come back split second later, and bink, it's done. Oh, still not warm enough, but it is getting a lot warmer. I think my wife is coming to the rescue with 2 fresh hot cups of water that we're going to use temporarily to get this kicked off. Thank you. All right, there you got some nice steaming water. It's actually tall enough now to encapsulate their legs. You can see that now, and that's the main problem, is it's just not high enough on the other one. Let me dump some of this hot water in here and raise it up. There we go, and I poured more hot water in here to raise that one up too. Let's see if we can't get this going quick. He's just chilling, taking a steam bath. It's not two hot whiskeys there. Not quite. Let's check the other one. Oh, so close. You know, it's funny. Usually it's not this difficult. Usually it works, no problem. It's because we have a live feed going on. Well, the good news is at least Hunter Knight Customs is not watching me. You guys, if you guys know Hunter Knight Customs, he's an awesome customizer that I also follow, and he's got some great ideas. And we were just discussing a couple days ago about the hot water versus the hair dryer. I said no, the hot water is way better because it covers the whole entire surface. But I'm starting to maybe rethink that. Hey, we got a leg off. Woo! Let's try the other one. And again, you don't want to just pull, you want to actually pry it off. So you want to kind of get underneath there where it connects, and it connects really low and it's kind of deep in there. There we go. Woo, 2 off. Now it's time to get the loincloth off. So loincloth, you want to turn it 90 degrees, and you want to take your screwdriver and you want to loosen it all the way around. And then as you're loosening it, on this one side on the front, if you rotate to the hips to the front still on the left side, it's actually a wider opening there, and you can see that. You're going to want to put your screwdriver in there. So you want to get it hot. Put your screwdriver in that small little area right there. Then once you get the screwdriver in that area, you can now force it all the way around and lift that lip. Once the lip is released from inside the waist, then you can slide them off, just like Polly Pocket shorts. I had a daughter, and she loved Polly Pockets, so I was very good at taking off the little rubber shorts and stuff for her and putting new ones on, which was such a pain. So I got really good at taking Mattel rubber off of action figures. All right, it's okay. You didn't miss nothing. We just basically sat and watched water boil for really slow. All right, now he has no loincloth. Well, that is awesome. You still find time to pray with your kids. That is so important in today's day and age. Let's get his legs off. Set him aside over there. Get his loincloth off. Same thing, 90 degrees. Loosen it all the way around. Make sure there's no glue in there. Sometimes Mattel gets a little excited with the glue. And then on this side, pull it out a little bit, and then stuff the screwdriver in and just unrelease the lip all the way around. Remember, it's the right side that has the larger opening out of the two. You can see it in this one right here now that it's off. This is the right side. You can see it's way bigger than the left. It's kind of their keying to make sure they don't put the hips on backwards, which is our key too we're going to use later on to make sure we stick the loincloth on correctly. This is being a stinker. Let's go ahead and heat it up a little bit more. And And again, once you get that in there, you can now work it around and get that lip up. Should we get pretty good at those Polly Pocket clothes? No? And you can see now the lip is outside of the waist. And now I'm just working it down the legs. Now sometimes you're doing this, you'll see the rubber starts to harden a little bit from cooling down. If you feel like it, you may want to dump it back in the hot water just to give it that extra little softness. And I do that quite often sometimes when I get kind of stuck like that. There we go. Ta-da! We got the shorts off. So now let's put the shorts back on this guy instead. Now the best way to do this is first, one more chance of heating them up. Figure out which way is front by looking down the slot for the big one. There's the big one there. There's the small one on that side. Line the big one up. Slide these over the bumps. And then just start pressing it up over the humps on the hips. Make sure I got that on right. Yep, I do. And this is the hardest part, is getting it past those hips. Once it's past the hips, use your screwdriver and just work it back up. Be careful not to stab yourself or the figure when you're doing this. And the hardest part is working that lip back into the seam. And you may find yourself...
Both said way easier to get on than off.
Yep, if you're quick, it will go on pretty easy sometimes. So now the lip is all bent wrong. So heat it up some more. And now you're going to work that lip around and push it back into the seam. And that's the hard part, is getting it back in that seam. You can kind of see my screwdriver going up in the back there, getting it lined back up.
Dean just realized he's been watching your stuff since 6 years ago.
All right, Dean. Thanks, man. So you probably see me do this before on my videos, huh?
If your origin Skeletor was 6 years ago.
It was. Yeah, believe it or not, I actually had videos on the internet a long time, even before that. But they weren't on YouTube. They were on my own unique channel. And then YouTube came out, and I thought, man, that's a good idea. I should have thought of that. And at first I refused to put stuff on YouTube for a while, because I wanted my own video channel. But I gave up and started putting stuff on YouTube. Alright, looks like I got the lip all lined up on there. This one's kind of sticking a little bit. And then just kind of shove it into the crack, into the groove. And then just give it a check to make sure you got it everywhere. There's always one little holdout area, you know that? All right. Give it one more heat up, make sure it's all lined up. Okay, before we put the legs back on, we want to go ahead and do that preventative thing so his legs don't become all wobbly later on. So to do this, we're going to use 2 O-rings. You want to use for water, boy, too. You didn't only dump it, did you? Here's a cup. Thanks.
The same water?
You can dump that one, just add more fresh water or whatever. So the O-rings I'm going to use, if you look on the sheet from last week, they're the ones for leg tightening, and it's these little small ones right here. And it's easier to do when the legs are off. That's why I'm going to do it now. They're kind of hard to see on that black right there, but there they are. And I have this channel lock tool, and this is used for set rings. Thanks. Was it already boiling?
No.
Oh, if you can reheat it too. Sorry. So I use these to stretch the O-rings out, and then I can put them on over the legs. If you don't stretch them out first, they'll just snap on you. So you put them on here. You do stretches, rotate them a little bit each time, and stretch it a little more. And just like a balloon before you blow it up, you just keep stretching it out. It's just to make that rubber so it's softer, wouldn't snap on you. And once you get it to a certain point, then you can take and slide it back over the leg. Let me show you how this works. Right here in that spot is where we're trying to get the O-ring to sit, so it causes a little bit of friction. So you're just going to take and slide this over this nub right here. And then once you have it over the nub a little bit, you're going to work it in front and then bring it around to the middle and then get it on the leg. Once it's on the leg, you're just going to roll it up and then try to get it up and over the hump and move it forward, and then it will just pop right into place, just like that. So we got one leg. I can already feel the tension on it, so that's correct. Let's do the other one. Same way. Sorry, man. Kind of stinks. I really can't see your guys' comments too well. My wife's making more hot water. I gave up on trying to use my cool new cup because it just was not hot enough to get this particular plastic, it seemed like. So again, bring it forward, bring it back, get it on there, slide it in place. And there we go. So now, I have some choices to make. I got the new loincloth on. My captain's just about ready. And I have a choice of either going with the original legs and the black shoes. They have kind of a gray wash on them. Or go with the new legs and the white boots, which don't have the wash on it. Now, I think what I'm going to do is take the original legs and pop them on, but swap the boots out. That way then I can have the boots actually, or the feet actually white. But I still want these to match the rest of the aesthetic of the figure with a slight wash on it. Then I'll use the newer ones for when I make my He-Man and armor. So, alright, let's go ahead and heat these things up and get them back on. When you heat them up, only heat up just the legs, not the part you're hooking to. This should stay cool. Thanks, Adam. Now, these are a little trickier to figure out which way is which. On these legs right here, first you can tell by the feet. When you pull the feet off, then you're kind of out of luck. So the next way you tell is by the bumps right here. Now, the high bump goes on the inside of the ankle. On the outside bump, just like your ankle bones when you look at them, goes on the outside. So you can see that on one of our completed Horde figures here, where the bump goes on the outside, and then the in one goes right here. So that's one way to remember it. Let's go ahead and pull these out. And the Horde Trooper legs are a little harder to get on than most legs. Oh, hey, I got one. Not yet. Let's try the other water. All right, add it. Let's try to go ahead and pull these feet off too. There we go. Hooray. It's almost done. All that's left now is to swap out the feet. You get the feet hot, you just pull them off. Yep. Leave little pegs on there. Let's go ahead and get the other feet out. Same thing. Not quite hot enough yet. Thanks. while we're waiting for the feet, let's go ahead and get him dressed in his Horde armor again. Now it's funny, at first most people are like, what, you did all that effort, he still looks like a Horde Trooper. Well, that's the point. We want him like a Horde Trooper. We want a Horde Trooper that, you know, is the leader, and I think making him a leader is by adding the sidearms to him, because that's not usually how most Horde Troopers are. And so yes, a lot of effort, but for those of us that, you know, love this lore, it's well worth it to just have one guy that has that leader look by having a little bit different feet and having the sidearms built on, but yet still look like a Horde Trooper. Now, you can also choose to make his gloves brown, and I have gone both ways before, where I've used black or brown gloves. I'm going to keep his black this time. It's your guys' choice. I know sometimes people will use the brown just so that they can reuse the black somewhere else. All right, there we go. Now they're soft enough. Yep, that's the correct leg, correct foot. Put this on, start in the front, and then work your way back. And you'll see the leg will want to keep moving on you. That's the hardest part about this. Now, the Horde Troopers is of a neat effect, and that is they have them angled on both sides, so theirs are easier to pop on than any other figures. So that is a good feature. It's so much easier. Okay, come on. You can do it. You can do it. Hooray. One done. One to go. Nope, not hot enough. I left it out too long.
Here.
Oh, thanks. My lovely wife has brought some more hot water for us. Sure. I guess not right away. I guess we could do some comments first if you wanted to, but
Okay. I'll be right back.
in a few minutes she'll come back and read the comments for us. There we go. Much easier with hotter water. And there we go. First Horde Trooper done. Now we have our leader Horde Trooper. He's ready to go. Troop Leader 35, reporting for duty. What do you think? Can you tell much of a difference?
No.
Yeah, see, the untrained eye, oh, it's a Horde Trooper. But we know, those of us that follow this, there's the big difference. He's got the cool sidearms.
Swapping out feet seems scary.
It is a little scary. Using customized feet sometimes will crack and break on you, and then you're out of luck. So if you buy secondary custom feet that someone has made for you, you may find them snapping if you're not careful. But it's not that bad. There we go.
Says my She-Ra head scares me, can't get it back on, don't want to boil off the paint.
You won't boil the paint off if you don't let the water get too hot. So don't boil the water and toss it in there. Just get the water super warm, or use a heat gun on the bottom part where the head goes. And I'll show you that in a few minutes. We'll put He-Mans on with the heat gun so you guys can see how to do that. So our next figure we're going to make is a custom He-Man like this. So I want to use this body because it already has skin right here, which will work great for our custom He-Man. So I do happen to have another Horde Trooper right here that I'm going to pull some parts off of.
Bo wants to know, did you ever make up an origin for Hebrew?
I did. If you go to Hebrew.com, you can read the origin story. I don't know if the origin story is actually on that page, but there is a link to it. So one thing about this is I would like to use the black hands, but I also want to cover this up right here, because this part of the torso here does not look like a human. I really wish they would have used a human torso here, and in the past I did take apart a Ninjor one time and use his torso for a He-Man Horde Trooper, and it was really cool to have the abs on there. But we're not going to go to that far detail. Today we are just going to use some heat shrink tubing and create a little piece that's going to cover his belly area so he doesn't have the robotic pieces here. So I'm just going to take this heat shrink tubing, hold it up. I need a piece about yay long, because we know the armor sits, not very much exposed. Just a small little bits exposed. We just need to cover that piece right there. So you can also use a black balloon for this, but it's not as does not work as well because it's not as thick. Where this stuff's thicker, so it actually will work better for doing this. So let me go ahead and cut off a chunk of this. There we go. Now I got my heat shrink tubing ready to go. Now, a lot of times I like to pre-shrink this by using some hot water. So I'll just go ahead and just kind of stick it like this and dunk them in some hot water to kind of pre-shrink it. And then we'll go to the heat gun right afterwards. Burp. Oh, and it fell off. Hot, 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 hot. And it's shrinking. And it's shrinking fast. There we go. Let's go and try this again. This time we'll dunk them this way. That's not going to work. Let's keep the spoon on him. What is the heat shrink tubing I use? It seems awfully big. What if I used something else last time? Think it's going to shrink enough to fit on there?
I don't know.
I don't think it will. Yeah, it does seem kind of big. Let's go ahead and use the heat gun and see just what happens. If not, he'll just have to deal with the robotic crunch. Woo, it's getting hot. Anybody give any comments? I guess that is the one I used. Ugh. All right, let's go ahead and keep shrinking this down. It's just about there. Who was that, Lise? Loud Convoys, thank you for the donation. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. I do have my Patreon set up, but I haven't figured out how to make it quite work right, so I don't know if anybody's subscribed yet to me, but I do appreciate the donations. That really helps a lot.
Bo said, I just read the origin. Someone's got to turn it into a cartoon.
Yeah, that would be cool. Thanks, man.
Dean says, I don't know how to donate. I'm not tech savvy. All right, so there we go. There is the heat shrink tubing for his ab crunch area. And let's go ahead and start reassembling him. Okay, so first of all, let's put on the original loincloth back on. Is this the fresh one, or is this still one that's boiling? That's a fresh one.
All right. And again, we're going to look for the high spot and the low spot on here. Yeah, I probably am. Get the legs hot again. And let's go ahead and put him over the pegs. Just like before, slide him up over his hips. There we go. Push that on up. And then work that lip into place. That's an interesting question. I never really thought about him having a steed. Um, Mostly because it would cost me money to get him a horse. That is a good question. All right, let's keep working this around and get that seam in the lip, or the lip in the seam. This becomes so tedious sometimes trying to get this line back up. No, that won't come apart. Where's the other cup?
Oh, just the paper one?
Yeah. It stinks. My battery on my phone's dying. I may have to cut this short, you guys, before I finish this figure. That would really stink.
I'm gonna get a cord.
I have one down there. I just can't plug it in while I'm using the microphone. It doesn't matter. I can't plug it in. I'm using the microphone. They're two separate things.
Wait. I'm sure I can get something. Just a minute.
Ha, it's finally going in. I didn't think it was ever going to go in the way this was going today. Come on, you can do it. Well, while this is doing that, let me go ahead and start heating the legs up, because we know we're going to have to put these back on. I just got some more fresh hot water. And while we're at it, we will also dump in the feet. And I want to steal his hands too, so we'll go ahead and heat those up as well. There we go. We got him going while we're getting this together. And the nice part of hot water is you can have something sitting in the hot water instead of trying to hold a heat gun or a hair dryer, so you can continue working on stuff while the water is heating up. So that's one big benefit. All right, so we got that on. Let's toss his armor on just so I can get that on in case we lose our feed. And I want you guys to see how that black looks there in the stomach area. So you can see how you don't have the robotic look anymore. Now it looks more organic, like it could actually be a man wearing it instead of a robot. Now up here we still have a robotic look, but it is painted skin color, so I'm just going to leave it. Let's go ahead and put He-Man's head on so I can show you guys that technique with the heat gun. So Dean, this is for you. You take the head, you just heat the bottom where it connects. The heat gun.
Dean says you're awesome.
Thanks, Dean. And once it starts to get kind of soft and pliable, you just shove it on there. There we go. Now let's go ahead and get his legs on there. Actually, I'm going to steal his hands off this guy. Put his hands in there so we can take him. Now, if you want to keep the brown gloves on, that works too, being he's supposed to be a human, but I just like the black aesthetic look better. Let's see if these gotten soft enough yet. Nope. And while we're waiting for those to get soft, let's go ahead and grab out the legs and start building the feet on them. Ugh. That's just not going to work. I guess we'll put a plug in the cord. All right, you guys, our sound might mess up. I apologize for that. You want to check this out and see if it's still working? Do you have your phone? We're going to do a sound check to see if it's still working. Oh, yep, it is. Let's go and pull these off. Now, when you're putting new hands back on, you want to make sure the parts with the holes are the hot part, and the other part where the hands actually are don't need to be as hot. What do you say, heat gun or what?
Heat gun or heat gun?
Oh, heat gun. Yeah, and this is the heat gun I use, and it's on my parts list, the Wagner, and it works really well.
Max says, follow me those.
Hey, Max. All right, there he goes. Now he has the black hands. He's got the skin color inside. He's got the Horde Trooper standard waist. Now let's pull out the cool, clean legs from that guy. And remember, this goes on the outside of the leg. One popped on. Two popped on. Now let's get the feet out. There they are. Now make sure we get the right and left in the right spots. One's on, and the second one's on. There we go. There is our He-Man disguise. And of course, you want to give him a helmet to carry around. So, Mr. Horde Trooper, you got to lose your helmet. I like to heat it up a little bit because the Horde Troopers' heads are a little finicky sometimes. And there we go. Now he has a helmet to carry around. Ta-da. Now, if you want to add his sword, which I like to do sometimes, is you can take and add a black rubber band. Just take the armor and open it up. Just put that rubber band up on the back side only, and that'll give you a quick sheath. And if it's really cool too, you can also add his armor on the inside before you put the other armor on. There's a lot of room inside this Horde Trooper armor. So this is one of the cool little features you can do. All right, you guys. Well, that pretty much concludes the lesson. We've covered both of our heat and pops, so we got those all done. Next week, we are going to be doing some sanding with a Dremel tool. These are the bits I like to use right here. These are the 953s, and these are going to use mostly to sand off the wrist bracers off of the 2000X figure. So if you want to follow along next week, get your Dremel ready, get these bits ready, get yourself a 2000X He-Man, and we're going to be changing this guy into a full-fledged 2000X figure. And his boots are from Man-at-Arms, the body's from Triple H, and the head is from the 2-pack of Snake Armor He-Man and King Hiss, Battle Armor King Hiss. So next week, that's our goal, is to make a 2000X figure for the new line, the Origins line.
The new Master of the Multiverse book out 22 this month, complete.
Oh, nice. I still have not read that yet, so that'll be good to have. And then if you want, like I was saying, you guys can take and just mix the last few parts left over and remake something out of it, so you're not totally wasting them. But just as a heads up, you know, always save your parts. I personally buy parts from other customizers. When I actually show you guys how to make parts, or how to make stuff, I show you the whole figure they came from. But many times I just have bags of parts that I've already bought from somebody in advance that I can use to do stuff. So that's the cheapest way to go, is to find somebody online that's a customizer that will sell you parts dirt cheap, because they don't need them anymore. They've already made their custom figures. And like, look at this. This is an awesome loincloth. This could be used for so many cool custom ideas. So I would suggest that you guys do that, is just find somebody where you can buy chunks and pieces. And sometimes they already have pieces half customized. Like in this case, it's just kind of fun, is they already have the different hands already swapped out on Zodiac's arms. And they already stuffed a head inside Ares' helmet. You know, so sometimes we get some cool fun parts that are already pre-customized a little bit for you to make it fun. Hey, thanks, Dean. I'm glad you're here as well. All right, you guys, that's it for now. Please check out my video, Laser Guns and Roses. I just released it this week again. There is some cool new updates in it, so check it out. It's called Laser Guns and Roses. Find it on my channel. And it's a really fun stop motion video. It has some great customs in it. And I use some really cool techniques to make some great stuff. My friend Steve, the artist, his voice is also in there too. So check it out. Let me know what you think. And I will probably have 2 new customs for sale on eBay, the 2 we just made today. So look for those. And we'll have those. Let's see. Which one is the one I just made? This one? No, it's this one. No. Anyway, so we will have those for sale coming up. I'll probably put them on this Thursday or something for a 10-day auction. So if you want to be the proud owner of the figure you watched this build during class and you sort of helped with your comments, that'd be great for you guys to have that as a mementos. All right, Dean, thanks. And I will see you guys next thing. Do you have anything to add?
Well, goodbye, everybody. Thanks for coming.
Yep. Bye, you guys. Thanks for being here.